testosterone. Find massmoney.com, Gem Plumbing, and by Golf.
On Boston's home for sports, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Man at second, 2 away in the ninth. Into center field. Friedel on approach. He's got it. Once again, Connor Wong now 0 for 25 with men in scoring position. 8-4 the final. Cincinnati wins it. They got a big helping hand from the Red Sox. It was a sloppy defeat, but the Red Sox do win this series and take that on to Washington.
Yeah, listen, you win the series. That's the positive, right? The negative is kind of the last, that 7th and 8th inning. Again, you give up 8 runs, 4 of them unearned. We've seen that before. Got a little sloppy late, not just in the field, but on the base pass, and it's a tough one to swallow, but still look at it as winning a series and moving on to Washington, try to win another one.
Series win. Hey, there you go. That was definitely the story last night. Certainly wasn't the abomination that the Boston Red Sox were in the field late in that game. Have you ever seen anything like it? And that's not like a hyperbolic question. It's an actual question to you. At 617-779-0985. Have you ever seen a team this bad fundamentally? Rearing its ugly head again last night. 7th inning, 8th inning, just a disaster all over the place. I can't get over it. What a cluster. Jimmy Stewart, have you ever seen anything quite like this?
Yeah, the last 3 years of this baseball team.
So, you mean stuff like this from last night? I don't know, just give me a sampling of it. What did the Red Sox sound like and look like last night?
Chopper to Story, and that skips off the glove. 1 run is in. The backup on the play by Meyer. Now throwing home. That runner will score. Back to third, and safe. And this one getting out of control very quickly. It is 8-4. And the Red Sox hearing it from the faithful at Fenway, as they should.
At this point, you'd almost like to go back to the bottom of the 6th when you were up 3-0 on the Abreu homer.
Done right.
An 8-run since.
And ugly.
I don't know why I just thought of this. As a kid, like trying to teach my mom how to play, baseball video games. I don't know, Ken Griffey Jr. on Nintendo. Or anybody. Just throwing to the wrong base, pressing the wrong button and throwing to the wrong base. That's what Marcelo Meyer did last night. Marcelo Meyer pressed C left on that one. Why are you throwing to third base? Hello? There's not a play there, buddy. Then there's a play at home, but there really is no play at home because the guy's already safe. But you know what? Let's just chuck it all over the diamond like it's a Little League moment. And then we throw back to third where there is a play. So we're throwing the ball all over the yard. 1 for 3. 1 for 3 there was a play at the bags they threw to. Have you ever seen anything like it? I can't get over that play. But, of course, a team that would do that would probably do something like this.
And a high fly ball. That one into left. Hayes backing up, feeling for the wall, leaping up, and he can't get it. Here comes the run. Marcelo is in to score. Heading into third. Here's the throw, the tag, and he is out. Gonzalez cut down at third. 5-4 game. That's the first out of the inning.
Just trying to do too much. Right? Trying to do too much. Down 2 runs. Get a wall ball double. The way it ricochets off this wall, it's right in front of him. I know he's quick and all, but this is just pushing it a little bit too much. He knows it the minute he's out. He's talking about all the time what you want and what you should be doing, right?
No, the lose analysis, the play, it's right in front of him. Yes, the ball is right in front of you. Again, my mom just pressed the square button and we advanced the runner to third base. What are we doing? Have you ever seen a guy try to extend a double into a triple at Fenway Park on a ball hit to left field? I honestly don't think I've seen anything like this. 35 years of watching baseball, or whatever it is. This is the dumbest, most profoundly stupid ball club I've ever seen. And the thing about it is they keep getting worse. They keep doing this. I mean, they have a week where they don't know the rules. They don't know infield fly. They don't know obstruction. Now we're throwing the ball all over the place. 3 times on one play, we throw the ball. Only one of the bags had a play at it. Doubles into triples. Roman Anthony doesn't know how to call for a ball in right field, just stops, lollipops the ball in. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again with this team. They keep doing it. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, Jimmy. I don't. Maybe a little bit of both. It's the same thing every single night. And they're not getting better. They're getting worse. And the Romy Gonzalez play last night is a perfect example of a manager who doesn't give a damn. That's as obvious as it gets. It's as clear as day. It's cut and dry. You bench him. You bench Romy Gonzalez, you make an example of him. That is as boneheaded and dumbass a play as you ever will see on a baseball diamond. Head lodged firmly up your rectum. I don't know how Romy Gonzalez was able to run with his head lodged firmly up his ass. And yet he gets away with it. And he just gets to keep on playing. Stays in the game. How does that happen? How, as a manager, do you not make an example of your player in that moment? He's the perfect player to make an example of. It's not like you're benching Jaren Duran and he's going to spiral, and Duran's a popular guy in that locker room, so we're led to believe, and he's going to spiral. It's Romy Gonzalez, for Christ's sake. Romy Gonzalez. Bench his ass. It's not that hard. You can't bench everybody who makes a dumb mistake, because the whole team is making dumb mistakes. You'd have nobody left to play. I understand that. But at some point, Cora has to take a stand, right? At some point, Cora has to, manage the team. And he won't. He refuses to. The same way he refused to talk to Rafael Devers about moving to first base, and he let somebody else do it. Cora's attitude is, don't make me do a thing. The man just does not want to be bothered. Which, you know what, is not a bad way to go through life, but you can't go through being manager of the Boston Red Sox with that type of attitude. Just don't bother me. Don't bug me. Another opportunity for him to hold this team accountable last night, and he didn't do it. But the attitude is, well, you won the series 2 out of 3. There you go. They don't have the sense of urgency. They don't have a sense of importance, and it starts with the manager. Of all the problems the Red Sox have, ownership level, front office level, players on the field, the manager, that game last night is an example of a manager not holding his players accountable and not having any interest in doing anything. Cora just wants to show up at this point. Is that a wrong take? Is that a bad take that the manager just wants to show up at this point? Because that's the way he's managing the team. I got paid. I'm good. We got a day off tomorrow. That's how he approached that game last night.
Matt, the team lacks urgency, and in the Terry Francona Red Sox days, you could manage for the playoffs. You could manage and space things out because you're managing for the playoffs. You have a playoff team unless something goes absurdly sideways. But with this team, they need to be invested. There needs to be more urgency to win. There needs to be more cheating, because that's when Alex Cora is at his best, is when he's cheating, and that's how they win.
You take it away from him, and he takes his ball and goes home. That's who Cora is. But he got paid. And there you have it. To you early and often tonight, 617-779-0985. I can't get over that game last night. But, hey, everything's hunky-dory. They took 2 out of 3. That's the attitude they have. No urgency. And that applies to the manager and the general manager and the owner and the players. It applies to everybody. They're so dysfunctional. You're not fixing it overnight. You're just not. Matt in Rhode Island to lead us off. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, I've never seen a team in MLB consistently find so many ways to suck. It's not striking 13 times a day game. It's bad defense. The base running is remarkable. How badly this team is. And I remember Alex Cora in an interview with another station last year said, "This is the last time we're going to struggle." Last year, It's a struggle to be a fan of this team right now.
You got that summed up perfectly, Matt. How many base running mistakes have they had this year? And has a single player been removed from a game for running into an out? No. How many times they run into outs? How many times a week? Find me an analytic on this. Where are the stat nerds out there? Find me an analytic on this. How many outs do the Red Sox run into on a per week basis? 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's every single freaking game. And not a single player has been removed from a game to set the example that this is not okay. You know why Romy Gonzalez ran into that out last night? Because it's okay. It's okay. Alex loves himself from some Romy. We know that. He was trying to help the team. It's all right. It's all good. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory. And I don't know if you've heard, this team's good enough to buy for, right? This team's good enough to make an addition at the deadline or two. As they're doubling down on that. Sam Kennedy's comments, following up Craig Breslow's comments. We'll get into that and anything you want tonight. We'll do 75 Red Sox stuff later on. We got to talk about Roman Anthony's night in right field last night, which was up and down, to say the least. News out of Worcester that we want to get to. A lot to get into on an off day here for the Red Sox as they get ready for a series in Washington over the weekend. 617-779-0985. We continue. It's McCarthy in for Maz on the Baseball Hour.
you sit here right now, is this a team that thinks it's going into July as a buyer?
Definitely. I mean, we were incredibly aggressive this offseason, adding Alex Bregman and Garrett Crochet and Aroldis Chapman, and the Narvaez trade I think will work out as one of the best trades in recent memory. And obviously we added Walker Buehler, who we think can right the ship here and has been totally accountable. So we had a very aggressive offseason rooted in a desire to marry up some new talent with this homegrown talent. That is still the plan. We are not where we want to be as we sit here on July 2nd. What day is today? July 2nd. But we can still get there. The good news is there's still time, but we feel the urgency, and I know everybody in that clubhouse does as well.
Stu, do you believe it? Do you believe the Red Sox intend to buy at this deadline?
I believe they're going to buy, but not like some Rafael Devers like move. So you're going to see like, who were the Scrabinis that they got out for the bullpen last year?
Lucas Sims and,
something Garcia.
Yep. Luis Garcia. That guy sucked. He had like a 14 ERA. He was awful.
So I tend to think that they're going to buy, but they're going to buy these bargain basement. It costs us Nick York, who's a prospect who's blocked next year for a relief pitcher.
Going to be off the Rule 5 eligible, and they're not going to end up on the 40-man, and clearing out more of the Heim Bloom clutter, as I call it, in the farm system. I could see it, so they can make an argument that they are buying. So they can, say, come out to the fans and say, look, we added Danny Jansen and this and that. And, we believe in this team and all that stuff. That would not be the end of the world.
Because what team is going to sell you a Rafael Devers-like player at this deadline?
It's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen at all. And, I mean, what team is going to sell you a Rafael Devers-type player in the offseason? Those guys do move sometimes, but not at the deadline. And generally, the Red Sox are, the team moving guys like Rafael Devers.
Like Ryan O'Hearn for a DH, he makes sense from the Orioles, but that's not a big splashy move.
No, but you're probably giving up something for O'Hearn. Here's my concern, and I've said this really going on the last week because the Red Sox have pounded the table for the last week saying they're buying. There's nothing more dangerous in sports than a franchise and a general manager, and in this case, a team president in Sam Kennedy, with something to prove. And Breslow and Kennedy have something to prove coming off the Devers deal. Watch out. Watch out on this. Because they're ignoring that there really is no reason to believe in this team. Last night is an example of why you should not believe in the Red Sox. Not with the way they play. I'm sorry. There are too many culture problems, and there are now talent problems on this team. The culture issues with the Red Sox are real. You have a manager who does not care, will not hold his players accountable, will not hold them responsible, and they keep losing games like this. Adding two guys, or whatever that thing is, will not fix that issue. What will fix the problem for the Red Sox is a total clean-out. I'll be honest, I'd go the other way. And I am not Mr. Sell at the deadline kind of guy. I have pounded the table in years past for this team to buy, for this team to improve, because I just generally believe in that thing. I do. Not this year. Not this year. This team needs a clean out from top to bottom. If you're going to trade Rafael Devers, own it. Do it for the right reasons. Not the money, do it for the culture. But if you want to argue culture, fine. Argue culture. Follow up on it. Trade Duran, fire the manager, strip the roster down, reset the thing in the offseason by acquiring veteran building blocks. Actually own it. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to compound their Devers mistake with more mistakes. They'll sign Bregman to a long-term deal. And I love Alex Bregman. Watching him every day was a treat. I didn't appreciate, I knew he was a good player. He's the type of guy you watch him every day and you say, wow, he's a really good player. You don't want to sign him to an 8-year contract extension. You don't want to do that. But they will. Why do you think Scott Boras is all of a sudden saying, Bregman would consider a long-term extension? Because he knows the Red Sox are vulnerable. And he knows the Red Sox are liable to compound one mistake with another mistake. Signing Bregman to a long-term deal would be a mistake. buying at this deadline as aggressively. I mean, they are coming out and defiantly saying they're buying. They haven't done that in years. Last year, we were ripping the Red Sox and we were ripping Breslow for being wishy-washy about it up until the final 2 weeks. Jimmy, at this time last year, remember when he went into the Nesson booth and he did that whole kind of song and dance? It was very Heim Bloom. This last year's team was in a much better spot than this year's team, and he would not commit to buying. He wouldn't do it until basically he had no choice to at the deadline. And I'll give him credit. He didn't do the buy and sell thing. But at this time last year, he was all over the map and definitely did not want to commit to the idea of buying. Why are they now committing to the idea of buying so defiantly, so forcefully, when the product on the field doesn't suggest that they should be this committed to that idea?
Because the PR hit from the Rafael Devers trade is a problem.
Exactly.
Because you've got the Giants owner on the record saying, oh, yeah, we got Devers because his contract, we were willing to take the entire contract. That's on the record. That's not speculation. And now you've got Sam saying on the team broadcasts, on the 2 team broadcasts, that nope, this was a baseball move. This was a culture move. It had nothing to do with the contract. So the Giants owner is lying. I'm sorry, with Sam's track record, I think Sam is lying.
The Red Sox have taken a beating in recent weeks, and they're defensive. Like, all of a sudden, we're Dave Dombrowski overnight. Like, Craig Breslow has morphed into Dave Dombrowski. Oh, no, yeah, we're going to buy. We're going to get our stuff done. Yeah, we're obviously going to improve this team.
I mean, the Giants owner had to call John Henry, the Red Sox owner, be like, your GM's asking for too much. Like, that's a problem. Just own it. You lost a trade. It happens.
And they'll ignore owning it by going out and making more mistakes. Breslow and Kennedy have taken beatings in recent weeks. There have been hit pieces all over the place. And now, Breslow in particular, the robot is feeling something. He's feeling defensiveness. That's a real human emotion that we have programmed him to feel, defensiveness. And when GMs and team presidents and organizations get backed into a corner, they want to start winning the PR battle. And then you're in real deep crap when that happens. That leads to bad decisions.
By the way, there's a baseball trade that I think could be available.
Hit me with it. This
Jarren
is kind of coming out of nowhere.
And something else for Acuna Jr. in Atlanta.
Oh, in. Christian
I don't
Campbell?
know what that something extra is, but it's probably like a top prospect or two. But that's a baseball trade.
Campbell. I will drive him to Atlanta if it gets you Ronald Acuna Jr.
And maybe the Red Sox have to take back Sean Murphy, which is fine.
Where's this coming from, Jimmy?
So I think on Section 10, Jared Carabas and Coley and Tyler, they all talked about the idea that there was a Rafael Devers trade to Atlanta for Acuna Jr. and Sean Murphy. So if you trade out Jarren Duran and somebody else, maybe that happens.
I'd love it. Acuna Jr. is, and I haven't even wanted to go there, Jimmy, because he's a perfect fit for the Red Sox. Right field, right-handed hitter, face of the franchise type player, electric. Acuna in right, Anthony in left. It works. Why did you just drop that on me?
Well, because I looked at the contract, and the contract is seemingly affordable, $17 million per season the next few years.
Okay, if that happens, if that's your buy, in. Completely different scenario. That is, you have replaced a franchise player with another franchise player. And you are now setting yourself up for the future. That move is as much about the 2026 Red Sox and beyond as it is about the 2025 Red Sox. That I can get on board with.
But Matt, I had to look at the contract to make sure that the money works. And this is a big problem that I have, is we're thinking too much about the business of sports rather than just like player for player deals.
Oh no, we've done business of sports talk here in recent days, Jimmy. Is that what we've done?
It's annoying. I just want to talk ball.
Ronald Acuna would be a hell of a Red Sox, wouldn't he? Here's my question to you. Why does Atlanta want to do it? Now, before you answer that, are they having problems with Acuna down there? Are you getting a problem guy and shipping your problem guy out? But why would they want to do that, Jim?
Probably the problem guy, but the money, Duran's cheaper, and the Braves have a history of they'll go out and they'll get another guy who fits their position.
But here's the difference between the Braves and the Red Sox. And I don't think this deal is going to happen, but let's talk about this hypothetically. The Braves will get a real return for Acuna. The Red Sox did not get a real return for Rafael Devers. If the Red Sox trade Jarren Duran, Christian Campbell, and I don't know who the pitcher is because the Red Sox don't have any pitchers because Chaim Bloom hated pitchers and didn't want to draft them, and we're still dealing with that
Why
problem.
not this Harrison kid that I'm told is going to be the next Garrett Crochet?
Okay.
He's available to hit the Major League roster tomorrow, I think.
That's right, because they get the extra year of control July 4th. It's Kyle Harrison
Yeah, so
Day.
why is he not starting in Washington, Dakota? Why is he not starting in Washington, Dakota?
Because he got lit up in Worcester last week.
Oh.
Is he pitching today? When's Harrison pitching for Worcester next? He's got to be pitching this weekend, right?
Good question.
I got to go see him.
I assume it was in Washington.
Oh, right, yeah, because he's going to be in the
He's
big
available
leagues.
for call-up.
Yeah, it was the next Tariq Skubal. I don't know if you've heard that.
And Garrett Crochet 2.0.
617-779-0985. That made my night. Jimmy just out of nowhere in the middle of a segment saying, hey, how about Ronald Acuna? Which, if Jimmy says stuff like that, I want to know where you heard it. You can't tell me on the air, right?
I just told you. I just tried to piece something together from something I heard from Section 10.
I'm gonna pepper you a little bit more off the air. We'll get into that. Dario in Holbrook. Dario.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
Thanks for
Dario?
taking my call. Real quick, I loved the way you opened the show tonight, talking about how like throwing the ball around is little league stuff. My little league coach used to scream at us and then snap a clipboard over his knee if we threw the ball around. And now we got major leaguers doing it. But the reason I called, a couple of weeks ago, I saw this graph thing, and it was comparing the defensive run save stat. And I'm into stats, but I'm not Craig Breslow, which is why I hate him because he uses it too much. But it was comparing that and errors. And there was one team who was in the high DRS and high errors, Boston Red Sox. And I'm just like, it just shows the volatility of this team, up and down. Like, we make good plays, then a bunch of errors.
We'll get into that momentarily here, Dario. I have defensive statistics and defensive metrics that will not make sense. We will not be able to compute them. Believe it or not, the nerds kind of say the Red Sox are good defensively. We'll get into that. Quick update from Kevin Majori.
make the play. Going to be a lob toss too high into second. Had a force there. It's a sloppy play. The bases are going to be loaded. And with only one down.
Well, this ball's kind of in no man's land, right? Tough play for Meyer. But right here, Roman just tries to lob it in rather than throwing it. Right? Just throw the baseball. And he tries to feel his way in getting it to second base. Had plenty of time, almost too much time. And just overthrows Trevor.
So it goes into the books as a base hit.
Assistant general manager said on Twitter last night after watching this abomination of a baseball game that a Red Sox player development member once told me that he knew it would be time for an exit strategy when a newly hired by Chaim Bloom minor league field coordinator declared in their first meeting, quote, "We no longer coach fundamentals," unquote. Jimmy Stewart, Mr. Fundamental back there. Ball in between a right fielder and a second baseman. Whose ball is it?
I believe the right fielder who's coming in on the baseball, who has clear sight of the baseball, would call off the infielder who is running backwards and at a bad angle.
That's correct. What happened on that play last night?
I believe there was a lack of communication between the outfielder and the infielder.
That is correct. Which, by the way, those two guys have never played together in right field and second base ever before.
Oh.
This from Matt Gross. Let me see if I can find this here.
Page 17 of the Felger Rundown.
They're not numbered. I wanted to share something that shouldn't get lost in last night's defensive clown show over at Fenway Park. Did you notice how unprepared and out of place both Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer looked on that play in the 8th inning? Well, there's a good reason for that. I went back through all of their minor league game logs last night, 303 for Anthony and 315 for Meyer, and guess how many times Marcelo Meyer played second base in the same game Roman Anthony played right field before they got called up? 0. That was the first time they ever had to converge on each other in a real baseball game on a ball hit from an angle at that part of the field. I find that to be malpractice for this part of the front office. If they collided and got seriously hurt for that play, it would have been my villain origin story. For years, it was all about when the kids get here, and now they're here and these jamokes are having them play in defensive alignment combinations they literally never once got to play or practice in Portland and Worcester. Disgraceful. That from Matt Gross over the Monster, who does a great job covering the Red Sox. Yep. Let's put Roman Anthony in right field where he's never played before. Let's just keep doing it. The Red Sox are the dumbest organization on the face of the planet. This is not a hard one. Guys, Roman Anthony's not a right fielder. He's not. Why are we doing this? Jimmy, I was on with you the day Roman Anthony got called up. What was the first thing I said about the lineup that night when Roman Anthony was batting fifth and playing right field? What was the first thing I said?
He's not a right fielder.
He's not a right fielder. He is not a right fielder. He's not a very good outfielder, which is fine because you don't need him to be. You know why? Because you have left field at Fenway Park. You know where you put the guy who can hit and can't field? Left field at Fenway Park. Ted Williams could hit, couldn't field. Left field. Yaz could field. Left field. Manny Ramirez. Left field. Jim Rice. Left field, Mike Greenwell, who is very fundamentally sound at fielding a ground ball because he would put his knee down. Left field. Jason Bay, left field. Masataka Yoshida, who's apparently a first baseman now. We'll get into that. Where did he play?
Left field?
Left field. It's what you do. Guy can hit, can't field, left field. Roman Anthony can hit, can't field, left field. It's not that hard.
Blake Swihart, left field.
Left field. You know how many games Roman Anthony, Blake Swihart has played more games in left field at Fenway Park than Roman Anthony.
I believe the number is 17, by the way.
That is 17 more games than Roman Anthony has played in left field at Fenway Park. 0, zilch, 1 game in left in the big leagues in San Francisco. That's it. Which, by the way, is the big field in San Francisco, you morons. The guy can't play the outfield, and it's fine because he can hit. He's just athletic enough to put out there. He'll be fine in left field at Fenway Park. Not in right field, you morons. But the reason they're so willing to do it, even though they weren't willing to do it in Worcester all year, I think he played 3 games in right in Worcester all year, is because, you may or may not believe this, the nerd stats say Roman Anthony is a good fielder. Roman Anthony small sample size, outs above average, 2. Not in the negative, 2. Roman Anthony's expected catch percentage, 84%. But his actual catch percentage, 94%. Roman Anthony's catch percentage added, according to StatCast and Baseball Savant, is 10%. Roman Anthony, according to the Nerd Stats, is a 10% above average player in the field. Watch him play. He's not. But the reason why his numbers are good, why his metrics are good, is because he gets good jumps on the ball, which is an important part of playing outfield. It's not everything, but he can, at times, get good jumps on the ball because he's a good athlete, which is more than Jarren Duran can do because he does not get good jumps on the ball, but he makes up for it with his speed. Roman Anthony's diving catch last night was only a 15% catch probability. Get ready for this, Jimmy. Because it was only a 15% catch probability, that is considered, by the analysts, a 5-star play. Roman Anthony made a 5-star play in that game last night. You saw that diving catch, right?
Wait, a 5-star play?
It is. 5-star play.
That's a 5-star play.
That was a 5-star play. That diving catch last night.
TF are they talking about?
Well, they don't watch. They just calculated how far he had to go and what the catch probability was. It was a 15% catch probability. That was not a great diving catch.
5 stars?
It was an average play by an average big leaguer. Cedar Rafaela's catch, I don't know what they calculated that as. Probably a far higher catch probability because it was hit right at him. The diving catch that Rafaela had, I think in the 8th inning last night, you could tell me better, Jimmy, that's a way harder play. Way harder play than what Roman Anthony made because it's the liner hit right at the center fielder. Lou was all over this last night. The hardest play for a center fielder to make is the ball hit right at him on a line. That was a really, really nice play by Cedar Rafaela. But the metrics, I guarantee you,
2-star play,
say that it is because the catch probability is probably way higher because
98.5%.
Because it's hit right at him. But because Roman Anthony had to move, they determined, well, how far did you have to move for the catch probability? That's not a hard play for a right fielder to make. It's not. But the Nerd Stats say he's good. So the Red Sox are willing to put him in right field because his catch percentage added is 10%. So he's a 10% better right fielder than the average guy. Jimmy, look at him. Is he a 10% better right fielder than the average right fielder?
No.
He's 10% worse, and that's being kind. Defensive metrics in baseball are the most useless stats in sports. They are worthless. You can't quantify a good fielder. You can't find any stat to do it. Errors probably don't even truly tell the full story of a fielder.
See Jarren Duran as an example. He's misplayed at least 6 baseballs this year that he's either taken a bad route to, they've gone off his glove, and he hasn't been charged with an error on them.
The eye test is the only test for fielders. It is.
Here's what I would call a very nerdy situation. I play MLB The Show.
Yep.
So when the year began, Jarren Duran was a 97 outfielder. He's now an 84 outfielder.
Okay, so he's gone down 13 points in the show rankings.
Yes.
He should go down farther than that. He shouldn't have been ranked as a 97 fielder to begin the year. But actually, the metrics are very kind. They were very kind to Duran last year. He's not a good outfielder.
But if Duran was such a good outfielder, he'd be in center.
Yep. I actually think he's better in center than he is in left. And
he would be in center and Rafaela would be in right. Because I believe a few years ago, Cora had a vision of platooning Rafaela and Abreu in right field and having Duran as the everyday center fielder.
But the Nerd Stats don't believe in that because your best defensive outfielder should be in center, which makes sense. I understand that. Except not at Fenway Park. Fenway Park, you can justify putting a right fielder in center field.
Mookie Betts.
Which is exactly what they should be doing. Roman Anthony should not be in right field. He should be in left field and learning how to grow and learning how to play the wall. I can accept Roman Anthony misplaying a ball off the wall right now. I can't accept Roman Anthony misplaying a ball in right field because he should not be there.
But the metrics tell me that he's a 5-star right fielder.
5-star play last night. That diving catch, 5-star.
Abreu won a gold glove last year. Just remember, a platinum glove, whatever they call it now.
Catch percentage added, 10%. Speaking of metrics and defensive positioning, how about Masataka Yoshida taking ground balls at first base in Worcester?
He just got his first hit in Worcester today.
That guy hits. That's all he does. He hits. Couple of things on this that I found fascinating. One, Masataka Yoshida has never played infield before, ever. I saw the video tweeted out by Natalie Nori, one of the Woo Sox broadcasters. He didn't look that bad. He actually kind of looked a little natural doing it. You know the scary part about it? He looked better than Christian Campbell.
Do you know why?
Why?
In international baseball, they teach fundamental stuff.
It's true. He looked very comfortable. He looked very natural doing it. And I said, you know what? He could maybe do this. Because first base isn't all that hard to pick up it shouldn't be that hard for a major leaguer to pick up, a good fundamental major leaguer. It's about the footwork. It's about learning the cutoffs. Anybody should be able to scoop a ball. Yoshida looked all right. He looked pretty comfortable doing it. I said, this could maybe work. And then I remembered Masataka Yoshida is listed at 5'8". 5'8", listed. Jimmy, according to Baseball Reference, and I mentioned this with Felger a little while ago, there have only been 6 players in the history of baseball. Well, not the history of baseball, sorry. Going back to 1901, Baseball Reference has only documented 6 players in the history of the game at 5'8" who have played first base. No, give me that. It's gonna get me. One of the best weekends of the year, without a doubt. And your weekend just got better because Sean Silver is carrying you into the weekend. Now, Sean, we do need to keep this quick because the last thing I'm doing is keeping Jimmy Stewart and Kevin Majori 1 second late. But it's good to see you, man. How you been?
Moonlight Graham.
Yes, this is a guy who loves old-time baseball. Felger can suck it. You're going to be reading a Roger Angle thing tonight? What do we got? 75 Red Sox talk? He's wearing a Daubach is my daddy shirt, which and a YD Red Sox hat. That's heroic.
I said to you coming in, Matt, when you're around as much as I am, you have a long time to think about what T-shirt am I going to wear the next time I'm in the air. I'm channeling the spirit of greater Red Sox teams of the past, but we'll start Celtics, Matt. How could we not? I'm not going to piggyback on the baseball hour with more baseball. We'll get back into that. We'll have Matt Doloff in studio.
Great.
And then the definitive NBA comedian, also a local guy, Mike Zakarian, later in the show in the 9 o'clock hour. So we're jam-packed. Me and Ryan Garvin are here till 10 o'clock.
All right. We are looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to the Jimmy Stewart program, 9 to 1, Saturday morning.
Let's go.
Here on the Sports Hub. Can't wait for that, Jimmy. Still laughing back there.
I don't have words.
It's the Jimmy Stewart program, and I just get to hang out for it. You were awesome on Monday. Loved that show.
A little strong.
It was really good. It was really, really good.
I graded myself a D.
You're just hard on yourself. I was listening and I graded it.
I've done a night program with Jimmy Stewart. It was, I think, right after Bill Russell passed away. It's one of my favorite 4-hour programs.
Yeah, we learned that the Patriots couldn't line up properly from Mike Giardi.
He remembers that specifically. It was a highlight of my time
and
here.
Bull Pett was on with us talking about the old-time Celtics, which was great.
There we go.
More Jimmy Stewart, 9 to 1 Saturday morning. Sean Silver coming your way next. Everybody have a great 4th of July.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans,